Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to do some free life coaching. So we're going to pick two questions, and the whole idea is I'm just going to dig out two questions out of the bag, and then you're going to write it down. You're going to write down the answers. So I'm going to give you the questions, and then your soul is going to channel you and help you with those answers. It's really going to give you some great advice. All right, so that's the whole point of writing it down. Your soul will channel through you as to what the answer is. Because sometimes you'll be like, I don't know. And then you just start writing, and then things will start coming through you, and you'll get all the answers that you need, more so than any reading that you ever got. Okay, and then we'll pick something from the basket, another bonus question. So 3 questions in all. All right, so let's see what questions we get today with life coaching questions. 3 life coaching questions today. So we got 2 right here. All right, what do we got? Don't blow away. All right. Interesting. So the first question is, what can you learn from the dark night of the soul? So let's just say you had the dark night of the soul. A lot of twin flames have. They've gone through a dark night of the soul. Usually it's when the twin flame leaves. And it's kind of unexpected, where all of a sudden you're with your twin flame, all of a sudden they just take off. And all of a sudden you're like, say, what just happened? What we were doing so well. Or maybe not so well. Anyway, I wasn't expecting you to leave. So basically you just go through a dark night of the soul in a way, whether it be for a day or whether it be for a year or a week or whatever it is. And so you're asking yourself, what did you learn through your dark night of the soul, or what can you learn through the dark night of the soul? What does that help you with? Now, I have some ideas in my head on what it probably did for you, but it's not my job to tell you. So you can pause me anytime you want and let your soul tell you, hey, we went through this dark night of the soul for this particular reason. This is why, and this is what it did for us. Okay, and then when you're ready to come back and you're ready to do the second question, the next question is, how can your inner child help you heal your inner wounds? How can your inner child help you heal your inner wounds? That's a big one, right? Yes. So when you pause me, again, you will channel your answers from your soul. When you're ready to come back, we're going to ask another fun question here. And you know what? And then I'll also do a words of wisdom. Another words of wisdom. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's like, depends. We'll see. We'll see if we get words of wisdom today. All right, so I'm just going to quickly shuffle. These aren't really shuffleable cards here, but let's just see what we get. See if this is one of these. All right, so we're going to get another spectacular thing to make us think. All right. What unconscious stories do I keep telling myself? What unconscious or subconscious, whatever you want to say, stories do I keep telling myself? Sometimes it's not conscious, where you just keep telling yourself stories. And sometimes you're conscious of it. I mean, if you're conscious of it, that's fine. But sometimes when you write it down and you start channeling through your soul, sometimes your soul will tell you, well, you don't notice, but these are the stories that you're telling yourself, but you're not very conscious of it. And this is what's directing you. So it's kind of a good question to ask. What unconscious stories do I keep telling myself? Or something that, you're kind of conscious of, and at the same time, you don't really notice, like the way you run your life, and then you're like, oh yeah, that does seem to be affecting me. All right, and then you can pause me. And then when you come back, we'll do some words of wisdom. How's that sound? All right, so here we go. Got my words of wisdom here. I could grab some more too. I think I have more of these sitting around, but okay. So we're just going to grab a piece of paper here. I'll grab this one. In the end, it is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves, by Ann Landers. In the end, it is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves. I kind of like that. And the reason why I think this is good for all of us to listen to is because if we turn it on ourselves, right, we have people that will do stuff for us, and then we have people who will teach us how to do things. Like they fish for us or they teach us how to fish, right? And so in the end, what has benefited you more? The people who did it for you, or the people who taught you how to do it, or at least modeled it, where you're like, oh, okay, I think I can figure that out. And you just feel like a more sense of purpose, right? Like, what's the whole point of being on Earth? Is to have it's really more to have a sense of purpose. It's to be purposeful, to feel fulfilled through your through, and it's not to be like, and here's the thing, everyone thinks, oh, I have this special purpose in my life. Really, that's really just kind of an ego thing. It really is more of, hey, what purpose do I have? And it could be something as small as, well, I just helped that lady put the suitcase up on top of the plane because it was too heavy for her. I just served a purpose, right? I just helped someone. Now, when it comes to this, what you do for others is beautiful, but also teaching them how to do it is even, well, except for the example of lifting a suitcase for the lady because she really can't lift it. It's too heavy. So there's nothing you can do about that. But anyway, where was I going with that? Yeah, just having a sense of purpose. And it's purposeful when you learn something new and now you have this whole new skill, right? And you feel like, oh, this, I don't know, it just feels like you've accomplished something. Do you ever notice how during the day, whether you sit around and do nothing versus you got stuff done, like how much more fulfilled you feel? And you don't know why, right? But obviously it's your soul that's communicating to you, but you just feel this sense of purpose. And you feel like, oh, I accomplished all this stuff. Well, that's because the whole point of being on Earth is to have a sense of purpose. It's when you lose that sense of purpose. So like people who retire, sometimes you'll see this happen to them, where they tend to just like deteriorate, really. They tend to get depressed. They tend to they start to fail, like their organs start to fail, right? They start to get prepared to die, right? Because they just lost their purpose. And I'm not saying their job is their main purpose anymore, but because they didn't take up a new purpose, right? So I'll give you an example. My father-in-law, years ago, when he was alive, he worked for Grumman, but then he retired and he's like, I need a sense of purpose. And so what he do? He started building birdhouses, and he's like a master carpenter. He's like probably famous where he lives for his. He makes anything you can think. He just builds. He just builds it from his mind. I mean, he built my house on a bird. Like he just took my house, took a picture, and he built my house as a birdhouse. So anyway, and it gave him great purpose. And he built stuff all day. People came and they admired his work. His property became like a park where people walked around and people bought his birdhouses. I mean, $1,000 birdhouses, $1,000. So anyway, it's just, and for him, it wasn't even about the money. He had money. For him, it was more about the purpose. Like he had purpose. So I don't know how that came into this whole discussion, but I felt led to talk about that. But that is key. And so I do hope you enjoyed this free life coaching. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.